All right, what's up, people? Dr. Feelgood here. Back again with the OGAL number 21. I'm for sure this time. I know the last one I'd even announced which one it was. Hell, I'd even give an intro. Um, anyway, tonight, a few random topics, a lot of bitching probably from certain people. They decide to show up. Gilligan, where you at, man? But I let my two panelists so far introduce themselves and we'll get started.
All right, this is Spike Remix here, back again. Let's get this thing started. And don't mind me just playing some Splatoon. Just finished some Sonic Mania as well. I'm still hoping
You
that
mean
Force is gonna be
Sonic?
somewhat good.
You mean Sonic?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's me, Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor BS Busters. It's always good to be on a Dr. Feelgood cast, or sorry, Ken J cast.
Hey, I'm still not to feel good. What the hell are you talking about? Anyway, right before, and I do mean literally right before we went live, Mr. Red Fox had some. He had some words of praise for Microsoft. Care to go ahead? Tell us what that was.
Ken, Dr. Feelgood is pulling your leg. I guess these weren't prayers. I see an interesting parallel between Microsoft, what they're doing with the Xbox One X, or
And before you continue, let me just let the people know, the viewers, if you hear any kind of loud, random outbursts, including profanity, those are of my wife while she's playing Splatoon 2, along, and she's actually playing with Sprite Remix here. So, in case you hear some shit, just know it's
Like
not
that.
me, it's her. But go
Mhm.
ahead, Red.
but as I was saying,
God damn.
basically, it's just the things that Microsoft is doing for the triple Xbox are very much reminiscent of Sega with the Dreamcast. What I mean is that they're putting up a very powerful console because at the time, the Dreamcast was actually one of the most powerful consoles on the market when it was released. It was more powerful than the PS2. Um, a little bit weaker than the GameCube. Um, but that was later on. The GameCube came later on. It was pretty powerful for its time. Um, it ran the Windows OS. And Sega was like, look, we're giving you a very powerful console. There's no excuse for people not to put games on this system and for people not to buy it for the power of the console. And unlike, like you had a lot of first-party games that came to the Dreamcast that were later ported on to other things. Some first-party games were canceled, and third-party games were canceled. So, like we're seeing, it's not one-for-one mirroring, but you're seeing a lot of the same stuff just kind of get, well, similar circumstances, put it that way.
No. Well, hey, those that fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it, right?
Yeah, that's what they say, but this isn't even like a
History repeating itself kind of thing.
this isn't even a history repeating itself because the Xbox has never been profitable. It's been in existence for 17 years. They never turned a profit on it. And just 2 years ago, the new CEO came up and he said, wait, we have this division of our company that is not turned a profit for 15 years. I'm cutting the purse string. And so that's why you saw those first party games just disappear.
Mm.
Well, you know what, though? I would say this. I still have hope for the system, although it's only a glimmer. And I don't hate any console manufacturer. I really don't, people. But I will say it's not looking too good for Microsoft right now with the way things are currently. But I won't sit here and say there's no chance in hell that things could ever, turn around. Because to me, and I could be totally wrong, but I think PlayStation's on decline. Their PS4 sales have dropped.
That's impossible. That's
but
impossible.
No, but I think they're on the decline, and you got one on the decline. Somebody, if not two other people, are on the come up. So to me, Sony flop with VR. They flop with the PS4 Pro, and the only thing that actually seemed like it took off was the PS4 Slim and the new bundle they got. But seriously, I think Sony has messed up, and hell, even PlayStation Now, that's not going
Well,
anywhere, man. It's
the sales are
abysmal. Well, not abysmal.
not that the sales of the PlayStation 4 have slowed down to a trickle. They aren't selling like they were initially because you've pretty like everyone who wants a PS4 has pretty much bought one at this point.
Pretty much the law of diminishing returns, like just like the 3DS. But the issue I run into with that is, I do agree with you, Red Fox. You are right that, like you said, pretty much everyone that has a PS4 has already bought one, which is why it's sold roughly 60 million in about 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
However, when it came to the 3DS and its numbers, people were like, "Oh, well, the 3DS is starting to flop and this and that." It's like, well, the reason why the sales are down year on year in some cases is because pretty much everyone that has 3DS.
Yeah. Everyone who wants a 3DS, either everyone who wants a 3DS has already bought one, or the game that's going to get them into buying one hasn't come out yet. Square Enix, get that Dragon Quest 11 out, you motherfuckers.
I just don't understand like how people is like, oh, 3DS flop because it's not as good as DS numbers. Well, I don't see the PS4 numbers being close to PS3. That's so what, like 85, 86?
Well, I mean, whenever you look at these hardware sales numbers, you have to think about return rate and that are still on the market. So really, like the Xbox, Microsoft likes to say we sold 100 million Xbox 360s. No, you didn't. You replaced 33% of that 100 million, and you counted those as sales. But really, you lost money. So really, you sold maybe 60 million. Which isn't terrible. I mean, that's not bad, but.
And keep in mind, people, we're not coming from a place where I know Red Fox has never cared for Microsoft personally, and that's his choice. But we're not coming from a place of being Xbox One haters. We don't. I think we all here would love to see each system have a slew of exclusives and give us a reason to buy said console.
Yeah, but I'm just saying this from a business standpoint. I mean, this isn't even my dislike. It's just like I find it amusing when they say we sold this many. Well, not really. You're lying.
well, something can be said about the PS4 as well, because even I think to myself that they say they've sold 60 million. I'm pretty sure a lot of those are resold units.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think that Sony has maybe 60 million shipped. I personally think maybe 50.
I think I think they've actually sold through to the consumer is new. I think accurately about 40 to 45 million that they were actually sold brand new to the consumer.
Yeah, I think 50 million have actually sold to consumers, and I think about 10 million on top of that are just people who traded shit in, like you know, the PS4 for PS4 Slims, and they're counting those sales as, you know, because they traded them in. But that doesn't necessarily mean you sold 60 million through like an entirely new product from beginning to end. But you know, Sony likes to
embellish.
Yeah, they love to embellish numbers. You notice they haven't said shit about their sales numbers for the last like
well, as I mentioned earlier. You know, no matter how, that's why now they include all their SKUs in their numbers, their sales numbers. Oh, well, the PlayStation family of consoles. Yeah. You mean PlayStation VR and PlayStation Pro and Slim and the regular? So now you're grouping them together. The reason why is because VR flopped.
The Pro flopped.
it's a done deal with those two.
And the Slim didn't sell as much as they wanted it to. I mean, because think about it. Like I said, the initial run of the PS4 was the base version, and that probably sold over the last 2 or 3 years, maybe 40, 45 million. And then I'm going to add another 10, 15 million on top of that, the Slims, people trading in their PS4 Pro, or their PS4s for Slims, Pros. And I would say the VR, but the VR is so expensive. I mean, you might as well just get a PC and do VR that way than buy a PS4
exactly.
Pro plus VR. It's bastards.
Waiting on Doc to jump on that train.
What, VR?
I've
No,
said in
PC.
look, man, I have nothing against gaming on PC, but my whole thing is once I get a PC, I still don't plan on gaming on it much. Now, if there are some exclusive games that come strictly to the PC or whatever, hey, but I'm still the kind of person that prefers just to, plug and play of a console. PC play.
But are there any plug-and-play consoles now aside from the Wii U and the Switch? I mean,
but see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. See, I know those two are plug and play. The other two are not.
Yeah, I mean, like basically, if you own an 8th gen console from Sony or Microsoft, or as I like to call them, third-party bitches, if you own one of the third-party bitch consoles, you just basically have a cheap-ass gaming PC with none of the benefits of owning a gaming PC and all the bullshit. So, I mean, congratulations. I mean, like, some of my favorite games are coming to PC. Like, it turns out that Ni no Kuni might come to PC. Ni no Kuni 2 is coming to PC. So if all these games are coming to PC, what the fuck do I need?
Well, you know what? Speaking of PC, and before I go into this, Sprite, my wife said leave their lobby and go to another one. She got almost 1,200 points and only got 27% of the field covered. She's pissed. So I just thought I'd let you know that. But speaking of PC, the first topic, good segue. Final Fantasy 15 is coming to the PC. Big surprise there.
Yeah. They got to make those billions back.
And I heard it's going to be 170 gigabytes. And that's for like 4K texture, like the 4K texture pack, right? Basically. And it's automatically included.
That should be optional.
But you know what's so funny is that, okay, for all those people out there, these casual gamers that want to proclaim themselves as Dude Bro Pro gamers, let me tell you something. You're begging and you're asking for all this 4K stuff. What's up, Gilligan? You're begging for all this 4K stuff, and this 4K game on the PC is going to be over 170 gigabytes. So can you imagine, with your even with your PS4 Pro and your Xbox One X, if this one game takes up 170 gigabytes, how many games can you fit on there, in 1 terabyte?
Well, speaking of 4K textures, does anyone know how many gigs Fallout 4 with 4K textures is hard drive space?
No, I'm pretty sure it's going to be north of 200.
No, it's 130. The base game is like 50 gigs.
Oh, really?
No, actually it's more than that. It's like 140, 150, because the base game is like 50 gigs, and then the HD textures are 85. So, I mean, like 130, 140. Like, here's what people don't understand, and you're right. All these gamers, oh man, I want 4K, I want 2K. Do you know how fucking big that makes these games? And they're already bloated as hell anyway. Like Splatoon, Splatoon's like a 20 gig game. Like
not even
like a 15 gig game.
No, the first Splatoon was actually only like it's like 2.5 gigabytes.
Yeah,
Splatoon 2.
Single digits.
Splatoon 2 is actually is around that time, around that data, like 2-3 gigabytes.
Yeah, it's not much bigger than the first one.
So let's say it's 2 or 3 gigabytes, and yet they can give you all of this. But then you play a game from these other people, and they give you just like the same general gameplay, around the same amount of content, But they got to make
Oh,
it 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 gigs. That's ridiculous.
and let me go ahead and stress to the people out there, Splatoon 2 is actually 1080p 60 frames per second locked.
The horror.
1080p 60 frames per second locked, and it's actually hits at less than 3 gigabytes, I believe, on the Switch.
And it's underpowered. It's not 8K texture.
Now, and if you are lagging,
Well,
it's because your connection sucks.
And the first Splatoon was actually 720p 60 frames per second locked, but it actually had two displays going simultaneously, 720p on the TV and 480p on the gamepad that was going full time. So that was essentially, I would say, 1200p going.
Yep. But don't say that. Don't say that.
And 60 frames per second locked, people.
People get mad when you say that. Because Nintendo's hardware is garbage. Their games are garbage.
And you can blame it on the art style all you want, and it's not graphically intensive. You know, let me school you about that a little bit. It doesn't matter what type of art style you use for something. The resolution that is what determines how much the resolution determines how much memory something takes up, more or less. So Uncharted can be in 4K or it can be in 1080p, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, Splatoon, regardless of the style, it is 1080p resolution on the screen. It could be 1080p. They could be all be blocks and squares. It's still 1080p.
Yep. But don't say that.
It doesn't matter what the art style is. I don't give a
They get pissed. They're like, "How dare you, sir? How dare you say that about my favorite title?"
I'm just saying, I have Uncharted 4, so I like the game. But yeah, it's 1080p locked at 60 frames per second, and that game hits it around 3 gigabytes, if not less. That's amazing. Nintendo have proven once again they are the masters of compression.
Well,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
definitely.
just.
But it doesn't
think
have
about
4K textures.
Even if they're making a game, even if they're making a game of a certain quality, right? Even if they're making a game, they still have to pay for that. They still have to pay for said game. So they're still like losing. They still have to pay for the storage medium, right? Even if it's at cost, they're still paying for it. And people never talk about that. They always think it's just simple, easy, no problems.
What in the world is
I
wrong
just-
with this game?
Actually,
What in the
can I
fuck?
can I add about that? I'm playing right now Pokemon Tournament DX, right, for the Switch, and it reminds me of how the graphics in Pokemon Tournament. I know people are not going to agree with me on this one, but the graphics for Pokemon Tournament, especially the character models on the Pokemon, they look just as good as the Tekken 7's character models.
Okay.
That's
And
impossible. That's impossible.
I don't believe you, man.
I'm just trolling.
I don't believe you. They don't have.
They don't have those titty flops, son.
Yeah. In fact, I think they look somewhat better. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the art direction.
That's
But,
impossible, son. They don't have those. They don't have the titty flops, and it's not 4K.
That's what I said.
And just a little remind you, this was also this came out on the Wii U as well.
Wow, three kills at once.
Well, I mean, here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say about Pokken Tournament. It's a good game. It's not necessarily for me, but a lot of games aren't for me. I mean, I think people need to calm down, and here's the thing. People's needless rush for better graphics have made games more expensive to make, and have ballooned the budget out to the point where games that should be making money are flopping. For example, Final Fantasy 15. That game sold what, like 5 million, 6 million? It's still a flop.
Well, you know what though? Here's what I want to say. I touched on this in one of my videos recently, but I may make another video and go into detail. To the developers and publishers out there, let's say you make a game, let's say Crackdown 3 is 720p, 60 frames per second locked. Let's just say that. Even if the people bitch about, oh well, we want the 1080p, on the Xbox One X we want 4K. Let's say you come out and say you have no plans of doing that. People got two choices. But if you start making games in the resolution that you think is better for you and cheaper for you, people have a choice. They either buy it or don't buy it. But 4K, guess what? They can go ahead and build a PC to run it at 4K, but that's money out of their pocket too. But the point I'm getting at is this. Just because people request something does not mean you have to oblige them. Because I know one thing. Let's say I wanted to play Splatoon 2 in 4K. It's 1080p. I have a choice. Either I don't buy it or I buy it. It's that simple. Gamers can talk all that 4K shit all they want, but if you really want to play a game, you play it regardless of what resolution the shit is in. In most cases, you will. That's like saying, I guess a similar analogy, although loosely related, is that it doesn't matter whether or not you like the way your electricity company or utilities function. You have to pay your bill, or else. You either pay the bill and keep it on, or you don't pay and let it get turned off. But you don't have to just do something because the gamers say this is what they prefer. You don't have to do it. This is why Nintendo gets so much flack, but I can appreciate it. Just because gamers have said, we want 4K, we want better graphics, we want this, we want that. Nintendo like, don't give a fuck what you want. We'll give you the experience, but
we're trying to make money, bitch. Yeah, we're trying to stay in our budget. They don't give a shit about what you want.
Exactly.
They're trying to stay in business. See, that's what people don't understand. These people are running a business. They're trying to make money, and yeah, they want their games to be impressive, but they also want to stay in business.
Like, okay, for example, Sprite, you there?
Yeah.
Okay, for example, if, let's say, Sonic Mania, let's just say that when they make this game, it was going to be in 480p. They didn't tell you, but the game was confirmed to be 480p, 60 frames per second, whatever. And they chose not to pursue any other resolution with this game. None whatsoever. Across all platforms, just 480p. In your mind, you have two choices. You may want a higher resolution, but since you do love Sonic and you're a fan of Sonic, or at least a good Sonic game, you're gonna probably still buy that game because even though the resolution is not preferable, you still want to buy that game because you love Sonic. You are a fan.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Gamers today, real gamers, they will invest in something whether or not. They don't care about resolution. You, me, Red Fox, the Good Shepherd, we don't care about resolution. To me, Splatoon could have been 360p to play the game. It will probably look awful, but still. I would still have bought that game. I would have still spent $60. I don't need to say 1080p on the back of the box to give me incentive to purchase. I bought the game because it looked fun.
Well, here's the thing that people don't understand. Real gamers don't give a shit about how the game looks. Real gamers, especially if it's something that's in a franchise, they want the iteration to stay the same. People do not buy Coca-Cola because of how the fucking can looks. They want to know that the rest of it tastes like Coca-Cola is supposed to taste. Okay? Like, you go to your favorite restaurant not because of how the dish looks, although the dishes might look fine. You go there because you like the food and you want consistency. Now, you want to talk about how certain games are inconsistent between installments or how the quality of certain franchises have gone to shit? Okay, then. But if you call yourself a gamer, you're like, oh no, this game isn't a certain resolution, or I don't like the way those, it's not 1080p. Oh fuck you. I'm sorry, but
And my thing is, these companies like Sony and Microsoft, they realize who their real fans are. Like, for example, if these developers just release a game, screw whatever resolution it's in, they just release the game, make sure it performs well. Everybody wants 4K, they give you 720p. You'll figure out who is really a fan of your game because they love the franchise, the IP, the icon itself, and who's just here to be popular and because they want something to have the biggest graphics, although it's all fluff and no substance. They know that. Like, for example, Uncharted basically each iteration they've added more and more cutscenes. And now the fourth one, I heard, has a lot of cutscenes, a lot of them.
yeah, that's
But
true.
at the end of the day, it's like you see who really buys your games because they love your games, and these people are the ones that'll buy every game you put out as long as it's of decent quality and you show innovation. You put in
Or
effort.
or like it's quality. Okay, because I mean, I wouldn't want to play a Mario game where it's like, hey, it's a Mario game, but there's no shooting it involved. Like, I mean, when I play a Mario game, I expect a certain level of quality. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
When I play whatever, I expect a level of quality.
But today, man, we'll move on. The next thing I want to talk about briefly is this Rocket League DLC for the Switch. I have to say, I'm impressed. It feels a little bit like Bayonetta in terms of how this studio has really, really gone out of their way to add some Nintendo exclusive content, and it looks like they're putting quite a bit of work into it, at least from what I can tell. I could be wrong, but it looks and feels that way. They could have easily just ported this game over and just called it a day, but they're going one step further,
Well, I mean,
and
that's
I can appreciate that.
if you want your game to do well on a Nintendo platform, this is how you do it. Okay, don't just give us some shitty ass port, right? We want
With missing
quality. We
features.
want something. Well, we want the shit to feel special. I mean, I hate to put it like that, but that's basically like Nintendo. Like, Nintendo gamers want to feel special, okay? And I know people are going to be like, but why should they go out of their way? Look, listen, okay? I know this is going to sound bad, but if you're a Nintendo gamer, every game Nintendo gives you more or less makes you feel special as a gamer. Like you feel like you're being pampered. So if you have an experience where you're always being pampered, you can't go to someone just what normal third parties do. Here's some shit, eat it or don't. I mean, we don't roll like that. Nintendo gamers don't roll like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I have the game on Xbox One. I haven't played it much, but I may double dip and get the Switch version. I mean, I'm liking the content I'm seeing thus far, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be more. I'm pretty sure there will be.
They have a Metroid car in there, so I might get it just for that.
Oh man, it was nice. It was nice. Sound effects and all, it was great. So I'm looking forward to. I hope they have a Luigi's Mansion car on there. A little Pikmin car. I hope they have. I hope they incorporate some of this stuff. I mean, I like the Mario, I like the Luigi, but
That was what
that
sold
Metroid
it
was
for me.
nice.
Yeah, Metroid. I'm a Metroid fan.
Metroid sold it, man. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, I can't believe it. Damn, we don't even have this in Mario Kart. Damn. So, looking forward to it. Anybody else want to come in on the DLC before
Oh, I said,
I guess, we allow Gilligan to bring up his how happy he is about the SNES pre-orders.
the SNES pre-orders. There's more to that. But I'll get to that later. I want to bring up about Rocket League DLC and how these PS4, Xbox One fanboys and PC fanboys are like, please bring these skins to the Switch.
Man,
They want
fuck
these
those
cards.
guys.
I mean, not the Switch. Bring these to the PS4, Xbox One, PC.
Are you serious? People have been begging for those already?
Yeah.
Oh, come on,
Yeah.
man. Come
I'm
on.
surprised you didn't know about that. Yeah, there were comments. They're begging, literally poor IP begging these Switch exclusive cars to their own platforms, the PS4,
But
Xbox One,
but
PC.
there should be common sense that they should know that's pretty much nigh impossible because Nintendo would never allow their content, even if it's just a skin, they would not allow their content to appear on another console.
Well, you know why? You know why I'm gonna say this right now? It's because the Nintendo exclusive cars are much better looking than their exclusive platforms, their exclusive cars. That's all I'll say. And honestly, it's the truth. If you look at the PS4 cars and the Xbox One cars that they got, it's
Look,
like,
let me put it this way, okay? They want exclusive content. Well, tell Microsoft and Sony to make some fucking exclusive games that are strong enough to make people want to make cars about them. I mean, yeah, we all want that Drake mobile.
Oh, God. Drake Mobile. That God of War sedan.
we all want that Drake mobile, that Paw Rapper. As a matter of fact, why doesn't Sony get on that? You want to know why? Because Sony's the leading platform and they don't have to try anymore. But wouldn't it have been cool to have the Paw Rapper, that Paw Rapper, the rapper driver's ed car?
Oh, come on.
I
When
actually
I press,
legit like
when
that.
when I say go, you step on the gas, step on the gas, step on the gas. Press square to brake. like
Shut the hell up, man.
like that would be, and like, you know, like, I mean, that would be awesome. But see, here's the thing: Sony got arrogant. Sony doesn't have to try anymore. Okay, so you know what? Like, you have a problem, take it up with Sony. And Microsoft, shit. Look, Microsoft can look. I don't know if there's going to be a Microsoft console in the next 5 years. So I'm sorry. Like, I think they have bigger things to worry about than Rocket League.
And here's my thing. Do you know what the biggest, next to Nathan Drake, you know what the biggest Sony mascot is? It's
Forza.
2K.
I mean,
It's Madden. It's
it's third party stuff too.
Battlefield. It's third party. Almost every major mascot that you could think of outside of Nathan Drake is Sony's biggest are Sony mascots.
And
Like
didn't they
that's
already
all
do
they are.
that? Didn't they already like put third party characters that really had no business in the game in PlayStation All Stars?
Yeah.
It's like I mean, I know your guys' roster is thin. I mean, it's like fielding a NBA team where you only got like one like AAA talent and everyone else is just dudes you found off the side of the road. I mean, that's basically how it feels when you look at first party games from Sony.
I just, to me, it just makes no sense. And the more I think about it, even now, I just found this out from you, Gillian, but you guys are literally begging for Nintendo content. Even if it's
Go
just
buy
a
a Switch.
skin, I don't like you do realize Nintendo content has never appeared on a Sony, Microsoft, or even a Sega platform. It hasn't. And the only time it appears on other platforms is when someone's emulating
Yep.
legally. But honestly, this hasn't happened in 30 years and you expect it to happen now?
Look, the only way you're going to play these Rocket League cars is if you get it on PC and it's moddable and you mod those cars in. Other than that, your
But you know
ass
what?
is shit out of luck.
I can't lie. I would honestly love to see Nintendo say, sure, we'll go ahead and release this as paid DLC. It'll be $10 per car on a PS4, Xbox, on a PC. I wonder how many people actually buy that shit.
Mm, Some people do it. Look, if people will pay $500, sorry, $49.99 plus tax for a triple Xbox, people will buy any damn thing. Shit.
Well,
I mean,
shout out
let's
to the
not
Rocket
forget.
developers.
Let's not
definitely
forget, Kent. We grew up in the days of the pet rock. So I really can't, and people paid for that. So
I do want to give a shout out to the developers behind Rocket League. I think it's
Psionics.
Psionics. Yeah, I do want to thank them for their efforts. I look forward to it. More than likely, I'll be double dipping. Yeah, I may even actually trade in my Xbox One version or sell it, whatever.
you have a
But
physical
yeah,
copy?
yeah, I bought the physical copy, which doesn't mean
I,
shit. You still got to install it. But I only paid I think I paid like 20, like $15 for it, brand new.
I'll say I'm glad I waited. I'm glad I didn't get the Xbox One version because I'm definitely going to be getting the Switch version for sure.
Now, I do hope, I will say this, I do hope these Nintendo fans buy the damn game.
I mean, I
I
think
do
they
hope
will.
that. And I say that because people, it's not often that a third party company ports a game to a Nintendo console and they put in more work, more effort than they did in the original. That's not something you see often. I'm not saying the game is bullcrap by it. I'm saying that so far this game they even said they're going to have all the features of the actual game on the other consoles. It's going to be everything. It won't be some type of slimmed down, dirty port.
Yeah,
And it's going to have exclusive content. So I please
can
buy the game.
can this segue into something? This is a rumor right now, but it's probably true knowing these fuckers.
Go
Square
ahead.
Enix is porting Final Fantasy 15 to the Switch. And unlike Rocket League, that's actually putting the full game on the system with some extra bennies for Nintendo fans, it turns out what they might be porting isn't actual Final Fantasy 15. It's the pay X amount of dollars per episode portable version that's coming to smartphones and iPad and
If that's the
tablets.
case, if that's the case, I'm already not buying.
Yeah, when I heard that, I'm like, fuck you. No. See,
Is it
people
really
wonder-
confirmed to be
Well,
that
I mean,
version?
okay, let me put it this way. The guy who's the director of Final Fantasy 15 said, yeah, we have a version coming to a console everyone's been talking about, a portable version, and its name rhymes with Twitch. So, yeah. If that's true, fuck Square Enix up the ass with a rubber dick.
What the?
I'll hold that until they actually reveal it. If it happens to be that mobile version, then
look.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till I see something.
If you can't even be bothered to put the same version, and I know people are gonna say, well, it's just not powerful enough. It's using I forget which engine they're using. I think Unreal or some shit like that.
Unreal Engine 4.
Yeah, it's using Unreal. That's scalable. Okay, you can put Unreal 4s on fucking smartphones. So don't give me that shit.
Actually,
now,
they've been. Oh, sorry.
go ahead, Logan.
I wanted to say that these developers have been putting these games into iOS, and they're far weaker than even the Wii U. But they don't have a problem with that. But somehow they have trouble porting their games to the Wii U and the Switch.
That's because Nintendo's not paying them for the game. But go ahead, Triple M. I'm sorry.
Now, I was saying, this is Final Fantasy 15, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, that game, like you said before, is 170 gigs. So
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to be surprised that
On PC, it's 170 gigs. On everything else, it's like 60, 50. It's not
60. Okay. Whew. Well, if Square Enix learn the magic of compression from Nintendo, I bet they could do something like that on that small cost.
That's the thing. It doesn't need to be. Listen. It doesn't need to be to the same level of, it doesn't need to be to the same graphical fidelity of what you see on the PS4 or the Xbox One. It could be literally just a downgrade. Look, it doesn't need to look great. It just needs to be stable and playable. But no, they won't do that because Square Enix has its. Never mind. I'm not even going to get into it.
What I would say is this, when it comes to porting any game to whether it be the Wii U or the Switch, here's my thing. We know that most of these games are 40, 50, 60, even up to 100 gigabytes, even on the PS4 and Xbox One. But that's because there is literally no compression going on. There's no optimization. And I think if I can recall correctly, Rocket League was. I think Rocket League is roughly about 20 or 30 gigs. I have the box here. Let me take a look real quick. It should be right here. But literally, it's not that big of a game. Here it is. Rocket League.
Oh.
See here. Okay, Rocket League is about 6 gigabytes. That's what it says. And that doesn't include any updates whatsoever. So it's probably hitting around 10.
All right, that's fairly decent.
Now, the issue that I do have regarding this, and looking at Final Fantasy 15, I have on the PS4. This game starts out at 50 gigabytes.
Yeah, and then after you download all the patches and all that stuff, it's ridiculous. So, I mean, at the end of the day, but that's on Square Enix, okay? Because they're like, well, I mean, they're trying to make their money back. Final Fantasy 15 has been farmed out to one of those microtransaction fests, smartphone games. I've seen the commercials on it on my cell phone. The little
and stuff like that.
Kind of that Simpsons game from EA, except it's Final Fantasy 15. And I mean.
But the way I see it, though, is if these companies actually took time to compress these games and optimize them, they were probably going to end up being roughly a quarter with their actual size on these consoles. So a 50 gigabyte game will probably end up being around 10 to 15 gigs if they were to really take their time and compress it.
Maybe if Nintendo did it, I would say if they just did normal compression, it would be half with all the assets and stuff. So if it's a 50 gig game, it'd be 25, which is, look, that's still smaller than 50.
True. But what they're doing today is very lazy. It's just doing it the same way they do PC games, essentially, where you just upload everything and that is it. You don't even try to make it where it could be more stable by compressing it and making it more optimized for that specific platform. That's going to be a problem for a while for these consoles, for the most part, because developers are not even trying anymore. They're not trying. They're just writing this code and dumping it. That's all they're doing.
Of course they're not. Why should they try?
If a Blu-ray has a maximum file size of around 50 gigabytes, a dual layer Blu-ray, why is it that some games are reportedly 60, 70, 80 gigabytes, but guess what? They dump the 50 gigabytes on the disc itself, and that's why they have these about 5 and 10 gigs.
Yeah, that's why they have those quote unquote patches to add content to the game. You know who started this? Our good old friends Microshaft. We have a hard drive, and that'll make it easier for developers. You mean developers to put out a shitty game and then add a patch, add more content after the fact to screw us over? Thanks a lot, Microshaft. Thanks a lot. But yeah, it's ridiculous. It's sad. I wish these people have decimated our hobby. Studios that used to exist don't exist anymore, and if they do, they're
a shell, a
shadow of what they used to be. Like when was the last good Final Fantasy? Yeah, what was the last good Final Fantasy game we got?
The last
Final Fantasy X.
Decent Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah, I was about to say that 12. That was the last. And here's the little dirty little secret. Final Fantasy 12 isn't technically a Final Fantasy game because it's actually a derivative of the Tactics games because it takes place in the same universe as Final Fantasy Tactics. So, I mean, that isn't even really a Final Fantasy game.
So the last one is Final Fantasy.
10.
So the last one is Final Fantasy 10. Yeah.
That's the
10
last
too.
game.
The hell with that. 10.
Yeah, fuck that game.
Yeah, I like. Yeah, 10 was 10.
fuck that.
Yeah, 10 was pretty good.
Oh, no. There's one other one. Final Fantasy 13.
What, Final Fantasy 9? That's before 10.
Sorry, I vomited a little bit on that one. No, but seriously though, Final Fantasy X, if you take out Titus, that piece of shit, it's actually a good game. I mean, it's not great. It's good. I mean, literally, if Hironobu Sakaguchi could go back in time and just throw Titus, put him into one of those old-fashioned laundries where they have the steam press and put his face down and then steam pressed his head until he was dead and never put him in the game, it'd be a great game.
Hey, look,
I hate Titus.
But
I
I give
hate
them credit
Titus.
because it was the first time they did it. But moving on from that,
Yeah. Well, Turnell asked, is there a benefit of not compressing a disc? Like, is the sound quality better or was the graphics better?
no, there's no. Now, if you're talking about uncompressed audio and video, you're right. You actually will get a better quality image when you do that. But here's the problem with that. The amount of throughput you need to play that effectively without sacrifice performance is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, for example, like 4K video, like that's raw. Like, dude, you need like a 3 gigabyte throughput per second.
And most people don't have that unless you have a PC where you're doing a lot of video compression and editing. Like, you're doing your own like high definition 2K 4K stuff yourself. But most people aren't doing that. So
yeah, it's only really useful when it comes to editing. Like, for example, I also do professional photography. Like a 12 megapixel photograph from an actual digital SLR, if you put it in JPEG format, it's probably around 4 megs. But if you put that shit in RAW format, it ends up being like 100 megs.
Yeah.
It's a huge, and then so basically, when you try to actually upload this to your computer, it takes 10 times longer to do so. It's a lot of information. It's no compression whatsoever. That's why typically they only use like a RAW format when it comes to editing. When you want to tinker with all the small details, you want to be able to mess with every single pixel and do whatever. Like, it's good for editing, but for playing a game, you don't need to have that raw data because it requires a lot of power. That's why you have the PlayStation 4 messing up people's HDMI cables because of the heat dissipation or whatever. It's crazy. Even the Xbox 360 was getting hot as hell.
Yep.
It's a lot of information. Yeah, the Wii had 88 megabytes of RAM and was able to run Call of Duty at 480p, 60 frames per second.
Yeah, but there's a difference.
I mean, 480p, 30 frames per second.
They were basically, the Wii was basically a Super GameCube. The GameCube, if you coded correctly for it, was really good at like doing certain things, and it didn't try to get out of its lane. But those things that it was really good at, it was really good at it. Which is why a lot of GameCube games, even now, you can go and play them, and they still hold up.
Those sound good.
Yeah, especially Star Wars World Squadron games.
Oh god, yeah.
Exactly.
Or Resident Evil 4. Beautiful Joe, Geist,
I just find that
Prime 1 and 2.
Guys,
I just find that funny how, like, you know, all these developers like bragging about, oh man, we doing this resolution, that resolution, but the frame rate takes a downgrade. Like, how is it that we have more 60 frames per second games doing Gen 6 than we do now?
They keep on saying, well, we're working on 4K, 8K, 12K textures. Well, only one developer said 12K.
Shut up. Move on.
Okay, you're going with 4K, 2K, 4K, 8K. here's the thing: who the fuck are gonna buy these 8K games? Because here's the thing: an 8K game is like 400 gigs.
Mm-hmm.
It's between 300 and 400 gigs. Who like the average hard drive? The average hard drive on most PCs is like nowadays a terabyte, 1.5, 2 terabytes. But even with all the other shit that's on your PC, who on God's green earth is gonna have 4 or 5 400 gigabyte games on their hard drive? I mean, that's most of your hard drive.
Yeah,
That's almost half.
very, very
Like,
true. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say, I feel like these developers they should focus more on optimizing 1080p to have all these games running 60 like we did back in Gen 6 before start bragging about the next big thing with resolution.
Why are you talking about craftsmanship and skill? The only thing people care about now are graphics.
Because look at Grand Theft Auto, like the PS2 trilogy, like that would run in 60 just fine. It wasn't the most demanding game. It was simple. The graphics was simple. We had fun. But now with GTA like 5, the only way you can get 60.
You gotta disable stuff. Yeah,
you have to have a gaming PC like me and you do, right?
I will say this. I've said this before. I would be fine today if the highest resolution game was 720p. Even now in the 9th gen, even now, I will even say if every game that came out, including Breath of the Wild, was 720p, locked at either 30 frames or 60 frames per second, depending on the game. RPGs don't have to be in 60 frames per second. That's a waste. I will be okay. The reason why is because I don't care how many pixels on the screen. As long as I can read the text, if there is text/subtitles, as long as the gameplay experience is memorable and fun, I can really give a shit less how many pixels are on the screen. Because guess what? Your little human eye, you can't see individual pixels from 5 to 8 feet away. You can't. You're not counting the pixels on the screen. If I was to actually show a game, one at 720p, 900p, and 1080p, and I had 3 40-inch televisions and the game on each and every one, I bet you only about maybe 5% of people could tell the difference.
Okay.
And to tell you the truth, at lower resolution, taking a low resolution and putting it on a high def TV actually makes it look worse.
Especially if it's really big.
Yeah, as someone who has, I have a big screen in my man cave. I've hooked up my SNES's, not the mini, an actual fucking SNES, to the system.
on the big screen. Oh, God.
And let me tell you something. It looks like shit on a big screen. It looks weird.
Yeah, it's not meant to take that big resolution.
Just like even the classic legacy games you have on like the PS3, Xbox 360, like the Namco Arcade and the Sega Genesis Ultimate Collection. Basically, those games in a small, letterbox format. It may have a border around the actual game itself, but if you play like Streets of Rage on the PS3, it's in a small letterbox format. That shit's not in 1080p, 60 frames per second.
You can't. Yeah, it's one designed to be that way.
Okay. Yin Yao.
And I gotta have my scan lines, man.
All right. So Yin Yao asked, how much of the game are on the CD in the first place? Now, since he specifically asked CD, I guess we're going back to the PlayStation 2 era.
No, I think she means the disc. And you could even a Blu-ray. Yeah, even a Blu-ray you could technically call a CD at this point, even now, because it's still a disc. It depends on the game. Because nowadays most of these games that you get, the base game is on on consoles, the base game is on the disc, but the base assets, but then you have to download extra shit in order to fill up what they didn't get because they're bastards and they don't know how to optimize anything to be on medium.
For example, The Witcher 3, good game. Mm-hmm. You buy The Witcher 3, the back of the box is going to say it needs about 55 or so gigabytes. That's how much is actually on the disc, 55 gigabytes. That's how much the disc can actually hold data-wise. But that's why when you plug the system, when you put the game in, the first thing it tells you to do is download a patch or an update. Now, they may say an update but the update is literally gigabytes. You're literally getting the rest of the game that they didn't put on a disc. Now you may
Yep.
have the main game on the disc. I'm not saying this is DLC, but typically if there are missing textures or there's a glitch that they forgot to correct or whatever, and it couldn't do it on the disc, they do so in that day one update or down the line. And even now, when it comes to PS4 and Xbox One, did you know? I'm not sure if you guys know, but you actually, even let's say you have no plans on purchasing the DLC for The Witcher 3 or any other game. Do you know the games automatically download the DLC to your console anyway? Even though you never plan on using it, it's already there. Like I'm not talking about on disc. I mean, even if it's on disc, it will still
It's on your hard
install
drive.
or patch in the DLC, even though
Yeah.
you never have any plans of buying it.
Well, because part of that is because a lot of the times when they add DLC, they also do inherent patches with the DLC. So even if you don't buy the DLC, there's certain things about that DLC that like patches that get the game ready in case you ever do buy the DLC, and they have to be downloaded. Like you can't really get around it. And yet the only company that like basically gives you games where you really that try not to, generally speaking, don't F you over like that, get shit on all the time. So.
Yeah, Janelle says Yin Yang meant developers putting games in disc like Xbox One and PS4 and the Nintendo Switch cartridge. So yeah, you're right, Greg.
I'm about to say, I figured it'd be something like, somehow the actual like Switch cartridge like be like auto compression or something like that, depending on how big the game
I
is.
think it's just the nature of them being cartridges because like a disc has to spin up. The reader on the disc is reading the bits of data that are on the disc, and that I mean like even the best readers can only read so much data at a time.
Yeah.
But a cartridge is instantaneous. I mean, once it's loaded, it's loaded.
Yeah, you're right, Perry fan. Plus, if you're buying a game later in its life, like Witcher 3 or Neo, there are post-release updates for new content or bug fixes of it.
I think
That's
I think even The Witcher has like about 13 plus gigs of updates and patches since the game released. I'm thinking so basically it's about 70 gigabytes.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean, but that's just how gaming is nowadays.
yeah, but my thing is, look, man, they did not have to go that route. And to me, I don't even see the point of them even having a damn laser reader if you're not even gonna read the game from the damn disc. And you got some gamers saying, that's why I don't buy games physical anymore because you still gotta install it. Well, to me, I still like having a physical something to hold on to, but it is almost pointless. I mean, it me off that I have to when I buy an Xbox on a PS4 game, I literally gotta wait about 10, 15 minutes for that shit to, if not longer, for it to install. And I don't want to hear that bullshit of well, you can start playing the game, once you put the disc in. Yeah, but no. What they really mean to tell you is that you can hit the start button, but really, in most cases, nothing ever happens.
Like, it makes you wonder, like, how big these games are and stuff, and all this push for 4K and stuff, like the Pro and the Triple X. But it's like, damn, what's the point of, like you said, what's the point of having an actual disc drive? Just have stuff running, having digital only at this point.
And
Well,
then,
that's what they want. I mean, okay, developers want to go straight up digital, and so do a lot of publishers. But here's the thing: it's a double-edged sword because a lot of these people who are buying these games aren't just straight up buying them; they're trading other shit in order to get the new shit. They're trading their old shit to get the new shit. And a lot of these, like a lot of retailers and a lot of publishers, they realize if they go straight digital, their sales are going to go down. The profits, the revenue generated is going to go up for a little bit, but then people who were marginal and could barely afford the hobby, are not going to be able to get their games or get them when they're on sale. And we all know how they've lied and said, oh, well, if you go digital, the games will be cheaper for you. Not for us, because the prices haven't gone down. I mean, shit, Nintendo's still selling Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for $60 goddamn dollars. That's not a $60 game. You can get Mario Kart 8 for $40 right now.
dude,
yeah, but not with everything on top of it. We've been through this.
but I'm not gonna lie. I remember even like in the Wii U's third year, that Wonderful 101 was still like $30, $40. I'm thinking like that shit costs like $20 in stores, and it has been for a while.
Exactly. I mean, I'm like, here's how angry I was. I scratched my CD for Lego City, and it wouldn't read the disc. So I was like, shit, I got to get another one. And I held on for as long as I could, and the price went down to 40. And I was like, oh, it's on sale now. And then like a week after that, they made it $19.99. I'm like, you motherfuckers! If I held on a little bit longer, I could have gotten it. But I mean, that's the type of shit we have to deal with as gamers. And I'm just simply saying that going strictly digital is not the answer. You know what it is? Budgeting your games, making a series of. I mean, I hate to use this parallel. Gaming right now is like Hollywood and the movie industry. Everyone's chasing these AAA games because they want to make AAA money. But here's the thing. If a AAA game flops, you lose a lot of cash. If a single A game flops, you're still in business.
Yep, and I'll even go so far as to say this, man. At the end of the day, going all digital, I've heard people say that they don't like to have to get up and change the disc. Lazy bastard. Look, if you are 25 and older, if you are 25 years and older, you should be accustomed to getting off your ass and swapping discs.
Yep.
For one. But two, it doesn't benefit you because you're stuck with the game.
Overtime.
You're stuck with that game. You can't resell it. You can't loan it to anyone, whether it be a friend or family member. You really can't do anything with it. And like Ref I said, most times you're going to spend full price for it when it would have been half off, if not a bargain bin at GameStop or hell, even Walmart or something. So going digital is not beneficial. It's convenient because you ain't got to get off your ass, but it's not beneficial. But going digital also puts retailers, in terms of gaming, it will really, really hinder their sales.
Yeah.
By the way, Parafan said just checked on his Witcher 3 storage with both DLC. It's up to 68 gigabytes for the PS4, about 10 plus from the back of the box requirement.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. It's sad. I don't see how people are excited about this, because even me, when I heard that even though you buy the physical game, you have to still install it on the hard drive, I'm thinking, then what is the point? Why do you have a reader or disk drive if it's useless?
And you know what? I even give a or should I say, I lowered the bar or the minimum requirement that if I can get the game on a disc and still install it without requiring to download anything to have that game played, I give that a pass. But they're even doing it going, and that's before Breath of the Wild came in.
Here's what I'll say. We were talking about digital versus physical. I'm sorry. I thought you were done, Triple M. I'm sorry. I cut you off. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I was about to end it, but I didn't even give him a pass on that because the whole game was still on the disc. But if I have to require to download stuff, play the game, yeah, that's a deal breaker for me.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's someone who used to be. I used to be like oh my God, I want physical everything. And then as I got older and I started, I started becoming a collector of, retro consoles and games. That shit is just a pain in the ass, switching consoles, having stuff, trying to hook everything up to one TV. It's a bitch. So for me, digital for some things is great.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the virtual console for the Wii and the Wii U, fucking awesome. All those games that I love, I don't have to hook up like 2-3 different consoles to play those games. That's awesome.
Hey, thank you so much for saying that, because I told Sprite that for years. I was telling him.
I'm with you guys on that too. I'm both physical and digital.
Yeah, same here. And I was telling Spike for years. He's like, won't you actually hook up your SNES? I said, dude, even though I have the physical original SNES and the physical original Sega Genesis and things like that, I don't have to hook those systems up because even though it may not be every game, but the Wii Virtual Console has a lot of great
Oh
games
gosh.
available.
Yeah, Wii
And
Virtual Console has good.
Yeah.
the Wii is built into the Wii U, so so even the Wii U's Virtual Console still has access to the Wii Virtual Console. So at the
Yeah,
end of the day, well, that's why I say when people ask me how many games since I got hooked up, I tell them like it's like 15. Because honestly, the Wii U is a Wii, a TurboGrafx 16, a Neo Geo,
The
a
Sega
Sega Master
Genesis,
System, Sega Genesis, Super
a
Nintendo,
Sega CD, a Super Nintendo, an
not
N64.
not Sega CD, not Sega 32X.
I don't give
And
a shit.
No one wants the 4 games that came in that fucking shitty ass add-on.
Knuckles Chaotix, man.
Well, actually, there is one game I'd want to see brought over, but it's never going to happen. But I would love to see it.
Eternal Champions 2.
Oh God, no! Calibri, the hummingbird shooter. It's actually a pretty fun game. Or maybe Echo the Dolphin in the future. That one where.
Really, dude.
I think there is one Echo the Dolphin on the Virtual Console.
Well, there was one that came. There were like 4 games for the 32X. There was Knuckles Chaotix, Calibri. I want to say Echo game. Forget what it was. It was one of those weird ones that didn't do that well. Because the 32X was a failure. I mean, it was a complete failure. I wish. I mean, I'm not a Sega fan, but if I could go back in time and grab Sega and slap the shit out of them, what the fuck's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
I know that the 32X is crappy. You wanna know why?
Because you own one.
I had one.
But even serious is though. So on the Wii/Wii U is the perfect excuse to go digital for legacy games because a lot of them are there, and I'd rather buy a digital version for $5 or $8 than have to spend 80 or $90 for the actual physical version.
Yep. Like
And
I paid $10 for Chrono Trigger again on the Wii. You know how much that shit costs physical? Like 60, 70?
Actually, not 60 or 70. It's like 120 now.
Well, last time I checked, it was 60 or 70.
well,
Maybe in box. Like if you just get if you just get the game, it's like $70, $80 now.
Just like I own
That's
Super
cute,
Mario
though.
RPG on there, and a few other games, Chrono Trigger. But it's easier just to buy them on there. It really is. So I can't lie. My goal is to buy most of the games that are on there that I know are major games. That's my goal. Like seriously, because that way my SNES can stay in its glass box, soaking my Genesis. No reason to pull it out. None.
So Nintendo,
Now you're bragging at this point.
So Nintendo, if you're listening,
Fox.
bring back the Virtual Console for the Switch and actually make it like the Wii Virtual Console and not the half-ass shit you did with the Wii U. Like real games being brought over and not like.
Actually, can I say something about that? Like, I can't.
Don't edit anything.
let me just say this right now. See, and this is what bothers me about the Wii U's Virtual Console service. So you guys noticed that a long time ago when the 3DS wasn't doing so hot until Iwata pretty much changed it around and bring up the Ambassadors program. He not only included the 10 NES games into the 3DS, but 10 GBA games. You were thinking that we were expecting GBA games on the 3DS's Virtual Console, but we didn't. Instead, that GBA Virtual Console that GBA games came to the Wii U's Virtual Console. And I'm just here like, what? Same with the DS. Now, I would say this, it was a nice addition and all, but honestly, I just feel like, man, if only I could play these games anywhere, these GBA games and the DS games on the 3DS. Now, yes, the 3DS is fully backwards compatible with DS games. I get that. However, my Nintendo Awards thing with WarioWare Touch has proven that they can do that. They can have digital DS games, not DSiWare games, but actual full-fledged digital DS games
Yeah,
into the system.
You know,
that's yeah. I mean, I feel like that was a missed opportunity, but
you know what? I want to segue.
Crazy, but not exactly, not really weird. Because, like you said, you could have still got it. The 3DS was still backwards compatible with the DS. So,
Yeah, I don't think that's an issue.
if I see that by a business standpoint, yeah, why should I bother?
But
Yeah,
I
I
will
mean,
go
I don't
ahead
think
and
that's
say
an
this
issue.
though, and this is actually a nice
yeah,
segue. But I've been wanting to talk about this, but I'm waiting for this new award service to show me how it's better than Club Nintendo.
Yeah,
yeah.
This award
Like, all
service
right,
sucks.
Nintendo, look, I love you.
Yeah.
I think I put you on top of the rest. I really do. Overall, I do.
It sucks. The
But
new award service sucks. Okay.
and then what I hate is that even when you go to the website, it says Switch rewards coming soon. I'm like, we should be
When?
past that by now. But I
I-
need. I'm like, don't get me wrong, I can appreciate the discounts. I can. I even use, believe it or not, these are games I already beat anyway. But I actually used some of my points to buy those digital primo strategy guides they had available, which I thought was pretty cool. But I'm thinking to myself, where are the free games at?
I think
Where's the memorabilia, like the Luigi's Mansion statue and stuff like that? I want that shit.
with the Switch, I think they're waiting for the premium service to come out, and then that's gonna like sync with like your Switch account and stuff.
Nah, but see, my problem with that is this. Look, I was able to claim every game on the Wii U when it had that code insert inside the game
Yep.
case. And the same, and now there are certain games that came out that very last year. It was like 3 or 4 games that came out that we weren't able to claim anymore.
Exactly.
Because like Kirby the Rainbow Curse, couldn't claim that. Anything
Yep.
after that, you could not claim. And even with the Switch now, I do. When you buy a physical game, it says you can claim the points or whatever. But I'm thinking we need more. Like right now, it does not really amount to. It doesn't even amount to the later Club Nintendo. The earlier Club Nintendo was great.
Was
It was
awesome,
still
yes, it
good
was.
in the end. It was still okay in the end, but in the early years, it
It's
was
still
awesome.
like, let me put it this way: even shitty Club Nintendo is better than my Nintendo is now. Okay.
Yeah.
And I know people are going to be
So
like,
agree.
you Nintendo fans, you expect. No, here's the thing, okay? Like, here's the thing, okay?
Can I-
like,
can I
for
say
example, we spent $300. Like, most of us spent $300 on our Switches, okay, or however much you spent on it, okay. Now we put that's money, okay. There is no record. Like, we should like if we were still part of Club Nintendo, that would have been what 30 gold coins. Because it was $10 for every 10 that you spent, or something like that. It was something like that. But I mean, it's lame. It's like, what are these people doing?
Can I add to
Making
that?
making another 3DS revision.
Well, guess what, guys?
Go ahead, Gilligan.
We are Nintendo fanboys actually criticizing Nintendo. Who would have thought?
Who'd have
Look,
thought?
look. Like I say, I understand. I'm glad they have something right now. But when I think about the old Club
As a window
Nintendo,
please.
where I got credit for buying my Wii
Yep.
and every single one of my games, all
My
that, I got
Wii,
credit
my
for all those things.
DS, all my DS games, all my 3DS games. Like, I really listen. And here's the thing: I didn't even use all my coins every year. Some of them I just it was like, I have all these games. I don't need this. But
Exactly.
that's not the point. I want to feel appreciated for the money that I've put into this fucking product.
And then even the Wii U had launched with their ambassador program in the beginning, where you got even some more points for everything you purchased for like the first 2 years.
Yep.
Oh
It,
yeah,
it was
you get
called
all
the,
those
like the
games.
deluxe program or something. Yeah.
Yeah, you get all those games for 30 cents. 30 cents, man.
But no, not
That's
even
amazing.
that. But when you bought the Wii U Deluxe, it came with some type of program, like loyalty program that basically, whenever you bought a game, if you bought like I think like 3 games, it would get like $10 off.
Oh yeah, that was amazing. I actually took advantage of that. Believe it or not. Oh,
I got like 3 free
that
games for
was
that shit, man.
amazing.
It was like the first 2 years, it was great. And I'm thinking, okay, Nintendo, I don't see any credit for my Switch purchase. I'm not saying you have to, but if you did this for the Wii and the Wii U, come on now. I'm just saying, you need to offer what you were offering before. You really do. Club
Yeah,
Nintendo was
something
great. And
exactly.
You
this
either
time
Exactly.
I want to be worldwide. I want to be the same. I don't want to see Europe get some type of 7-inch Bayonetta statue and then we fucking end up with Luigi. I don't want to see that. I don't want to hear about that.
Hey
Look,
I don't want to hear about
man.
I don't want to
you
hear about
either
Japan getting some kind of Final Fantasy VI map and all we get is a map of Super Mario 3D World. I don't want to see that.
look. You either have to add. You either have to add. You either have to add like it either has to be the same or similar, comparable to. What you cannot do is what they've been doing, which is this lazy ass shit where they just you just take it. It's like serious things. Nintendo's getting a little arrogant right now because the Switch is doing well, and I'm like Nintendo should. If any company should know better than to start getting arrogant, it's Nintendo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just like for example, now I'm glad that the Switch is region free. I'm pretty sure we all glad about that, even though most people that bitch about it and hardly ever even buy a game from overseas. But that's a different discussion. But I'm glad it's region free. But you know what I would have loved to have the region free thing when Bayonetta 2 came out and Europe had that badass bundle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
the region free wouldn't have helped you like.
I know it wouldn't help me with the Wii U because it was region locked, but I would have still been able
No,
to.
no, I don't mean that. That bundle was only in Europe. Even if it was region free, that doesn't matter. Like you still
No,
would
I
have had
know
to
that.
import it.
I mean, I
That's
know
what I'm
it's
saying.
imported, but at least I would have imported. I would still be able to play it. In the Wii U, you can import it, but this still wouldn't play in your system
Yeah, that's true.
because it's locked. But since the Switch is region free, I can be like, okay, then well, I'll order the European Bayonetta 2. That way, I get the collector's edition. I can play that version, and still, it's not just a useless, game cartridge sitting around. I can actually play it on my system.
Speaking of Europe, they actually are getting a much better collector's edition of Metroid: Samus Returns.
See what I mean?
See,
Yeah,
look,
they get all the good
That's
stuff.
pre-order.
Let me get this straight. The weakest market Nintendo has, they get the best shit.
Yep.
Hey,
and you
it's
know what
not
I heard? The
just
reason for that is.
you can't put blame on that.
Hold on. Now, the reason behind that, or that I've heard, and these are from people that have common sense, is that since Europe is their weakest market, they're trying to build that market up by appealing to them more. But to me, and I can understand that business wise, but to me, you shouldn't shit on the ones that actually do pay your bills either.
Sure.
Yeah,
Because to me,
consider that
America
Europe
is your
FIFA
biggest
land.
market. Like Japan is your most loyal market, but America is your biggest market. So we should be getting the same shit that both of these territories get because if you add up all the sales of anything, typically America's account for about half of your worldwide sales for almost any title. Why can't we get these great ass collector's editions? I mean, I know not many of us over here
Yeah.
want them, but we will. But the ones that want them would definitely get them.
Yeah, we've always gotten basically like, and I hate to say this, but we've always kind of got shafted as Nintendo fans in America when it comes to
Not
certain things.
always, mostly.
Well, I mean,
in
okay,
the Setsu
fine.
3, we got sick of it evermore.
Since the end of the fourth gen, okay, we've been getting shafted because like a lot of really good games we don't even get anymore.
But Sony but PAL does.
I really do hope.
Like my thing is like I understand they want to build the European market, but I'm sorry, there's no hope for that market unless it.
Well, I mean,
Since
Here's what I would say. To me, Europe is going to be pretty much a lost cause for Nintendo as far as being number one until you come up with another Mario Strikers. That
Well,
I said it.
that's
I'm not
FIFA
going to go
land.
that far. I do think that Europe can grow into a second tier market, but they're just going to have games that appeal to you know.
Mario
Europe.
Strikers.
Yeah, like I said, it's FIFA land over there.
Well, I mean, they need to. Okay, let me put it this way: like,
Give me a Mario Cricket.
Pokemon is really big in France. Okay, they really like that. That Pokemon X and Y sold really fucking well in France. So clearly, there are games that appeal to that market. You just gotta make games that appeal to whatever that market is. So I'm not saying that it's impossible that they can't do it. I'm just saying that.
Red. Mario Strikers. There is nothing else that needs to be said.
Well,
You make
no,
you make a Mario Strikers and you put maybe Bayonetta's DLC or some really other characters. I'm telling you, if you make a Mario Strikers for Europe, Nintendo may actually they may be competitive in Europe, but you have to drop that soccer game and it has to have Nintendo flair. But like if we get FIFA, so we get FIFA and they drop Mario Strikers this next year or something. Honestly, Nintendo will begin getting a foothold of the European market. But for right now, to me, it will still be their weakest market until that happens. Because as Bryce said, that's FIFA land. If it ain't FIFA or Pro Evolution Soccer, they don't really care. Pokemon they care, but that's about it. But Pokemon does very well worldwide, so they don't even really care about Europe at this point. You said what?
Also,
Perifan just wrote, or maybe the French are just egotistical and just wanted the Pokemon game set in France.
Well, here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say. Okay, Pokemon could be a deep okay. I think Nintendo can get a toehold because Sony is beginning to lose their grasp on Europe. Okay, not all of Europe, but parts of Europe. Sony is beginning to lose their grasp on Europe. So Nintendo can kind of slide in there, but they're going to have to be aggressive, which they are starting to be aggressive. But here's the thing: if you're being aggressive with them and saying "fuck you" to your base, which has been America and Japan, which Japan's still getting cool shit, but we're getting kind of shafted. I'm not cool with that. Like, I'm not like, because here's the thing, like I said, I'm an old school Nintendo fan. I've been playing these games for years. I don't want to fucking, I don't want them fucking selling me some shit that, I want cool swag stuff too,
That swag.
I want a Splatoon hat in America.
To be honest,
I mean,
I want those swags as a My Nintendo that My Nintendo gift or something. At least that.
I mean Why don't they do that? But no, they give all the cool shit to Europe and Japan and America. They were like, well, here, take this. Like we didn't look. I wanted that Famicom new 3DS. We get it? No.
You bitter bastard.
Hey, I can contest to that. I'm bitter too.
Yes, I am
But
bitter.
I would say this though, like I'm pretty sure we all agree, but the reward service, it needs to be better. Now, I think that one thing Nintendo did to try to rectify the situation with us getting the short end of the stick when it comes to their collector's editions and their memorabilia and things like that is the region unlocking. Since it's region free, now you really can just order that version of the game and you can still play it on your console. Now, I hope they have English subtitles or, audio available. I'm pretty sure some games won't, but
not all. Yeah.
Yeah, not all will, but at least now, if you order that version, depending, whatever you pay for it, that disc or that cartridge is not useless. You can still play it in your console. It works just fine, no issues whatsoever. So I think that's one way they have at least started to rectify this whole thing. Now I hope it gets to a point where, hey, I can one day look on my Nintendo and on the American website, and I look on there and I'm like, oh wow, they got some new Bayonetta or whatever. They got some new Pikmin not exclusive to Japan, and I can order it here. I hope that's the case. I hope they go back to giving away free games instead of just discounts, because Nintendo doing it with the Wii U, you got to understand that we actually enjoyed that. Now, I will tell you, if you go back to that, please stop giving us free games which you know we already bought.
Yeah.
Now, you know like hell that we had already bought Donkey Kong Country 3D on a 3DS. You know like hell we had already bought Pikmin 3 and 3D World and other
Exactly.
games.
Yeah,
You
that's
know
the thing.
those
That's
games.
the thing that pissed me off the most about Club Nintendo. By the end of it, and even now, they're like, "You can get a discount on this, motherfucker." You know I bought this shit already.
And you know what I would like? I would like for them, and I may make a video about this, but I would like for them to start giving us discounts for games that aren't even out yet. Just say like, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna throw a number out here. It may be, it may be big, but for 300 platinum coins, we'll give you 20% off of Mario Rabbids that comes out in a month. Or we'll give you 10% off of Metroid 4 if you buy it digitally. Like, I would love that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
give
me
us
game
like,
down the line.
well, not that. Like, be like, okay, look, if you Metroid Prime 4 is coming out, you can use your points to get like 10%, so $6. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. If you download it digitally, or like you can get like a $5 coupon, you can print off and scan it wherever your physical big box retailer is. That's fair. And I know they're going to be like, well, we're losing money, man. Your fans are going to buy that shit anyway. Come on.
Like, I mean, see, that would, you know what? Here's even something simpler. Make it to where even these points, Nintendo, I hope you're listening, could be used to even get fucking amiibo.
Yep.
What's wrong with that?
Or
just-
Like, what is wrong with spending 20 gold coins to get a Rebo that get an amiibo you probably don't even have because it's rare?
Or
That would be
if
nice.
Nintendo, I have a better idea. Why don't you make an online Nintendo store where people can order this shit directly without cutting out the middle?
No, as much as I want that, I think that shit would be crashing every day, man.
No. You can only like so that there can't be a run. You have to like give your information, so like people can't buy like 20 of their mini consoles. Like people can't get like 5 or 6.
Oh, you're talking about like a
Nintendo-
sign up for notification or like a line or whatever, where you put your information in, and based on when you put it in, the order that you're in, they'll send it to you.
The heck, or even tie that with the My Nintendo Reward program.
I hope they're working on something like this, because right now, my Nintendo, if I had to give it a rate on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably around like a 4 for me right now. And that's
I'll give it
because
a 3.
Even the games that give me discounts on, I either already have those games, or hell, to be honest, I bought those games for even a much cheaper price than what they're offering with the discount. So for me, it's more like I literally use my points to get 2 free Prima digital strategy guides, because I have like 15 of those things. So I'm thinking, okay, I already beat this game, but I'll go ahead and take the guide for it. I think one was like Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon on 3DS. I still have the game, still love it. But to me, that was something that, okay, well, it's not a Nintendo product per se, but I'll take it. But please, you guys have to at least match Club Nintendo in its dying days. I mean, and Nintendo, please, this expiration shit with the points, fuck you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
exactly.
say it. The expiration needs to stop. Look, I earn those points. Some of these games I still plan on playing 3 or 4 years from now. My gameplay does not expire, so why do my points expire? I'm just saying, what if I don't want to use those points right now because nothing you have is enticing enough for me personally? I shouldn't lose my points just because nothing right now appeals to me. And that was especially true with Club Nintendo. There were times I went to buy some, I said, but I already have every game on this list. I have every game, and I don't want the damn pencil holder. I don't want the Wii. I don't want the Wiimote holder. I mean, shit. I have a holder for my already. I'm like, I don't need that. But I lost some points
I
because
was about to tell you something, Dr. Feelgood, that about the whole Nintendo Online store. as cool as that sounds, and I'm all for that one because that will make it a lot more simpler. Though at the same time, there will be hackers, exploiters that will be using their bots to exploit the store out.
That's my point. In order for you to purchase things from it, it would not be like a normal store. Like you wouldn't be able to go in there and be like, hey, guess the fuck what? I did this. I made this game. I did this with it.
Like for example, so basically what he's saying, what I could be wrong, but you know how like on Amazon and Best Buy, when you want to go there to get something that's not out yet to pre-order and like it's sold out or it's not available yet, they'll say like it's like put your name on a mailing list and we'll notify you when it becomes available. They won't hold one for you, but they'll notify you.
Yeah, or something like, okay, you want to let's say Nintendo comes up with the N64 Mini, okay, 30 games, N64 Mini. You can go, you can pay for it. They hold one for you, but it goes to your thing and only your thing. So you can't buy 2, 3, 4, 5. One purchase, one person. That's it. And if they see a lot of like bots shipping things to like the same address and shit like that, they're gonna be like, something shady going on. That shit.
And all they gotta do is
I'll stop scalpers.
Like, all they gotta do is just limit to like one credit card address and email per order. So even if you have multiple email addresses, you gotta have multiple credit cards too.
Yep. I mean something like that. Because I am fucking tired of scalpers. I mean I am. They can eat shit and die.
GameStop are beginning to be scalpers too.
Well, GameStop's always been scalpers. Man. That's not new. You know, I can't believe. Because I mean, anyone remember when the Metroid Prime trilogy came out on the Switch, and it turned out
the
Wii.
On
the Wii. And they
what about this? The Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah, they did the same thing with Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah.
They did the same thing with Xenoblade Chronicles. You know what I'm talking about?
Only this time they're actually saying it in your face.
But what they would do with Xenoblade Chronicles is that they bought new copies, they will open them, and then sell them for like $80. But they bought the games brand new for their own, discounted price. But then they would literally open them up so they can sell them used and put their own prices on it. So when it would be it would say on the website, it would say brand new, $50, but we're sold out. We got a used copy for $90. Wait, what? How do you have a used copy but not a new one?
Yeah, and that was a damn shame. But that's those motherfuckers at GameStop. See, there's a reason I call GameStop the devil, because that's some devilish shit to do. And I know people are like, well, why do you think they need to go broke? That's why, because of shit like that. Mm-hmm. They need to go broke because of shit like that. That's why GameStop needs to go out of business, because they do shit like that.
Hey, does Nintendo has an online store in Europe or for Europe?
I don't think so.
I know. But I do agree with Fairfox. They do need to have one of some kind, because what I hate, and Gilligan, I'm just going to say this right now. You're a friend, man. I love you, but sometimes I hate you too. And that's because you be making posts like, yeah, I'm going to go to the Nintendo online, the Nintendo World Store and buy my copy. I'm like, you son of a bitch. I don't have one. I'm like 2,000 miles away. I wish I had one. And then like, for example, when was it you that bought Star Fox Zero and it came with like a poster and like a bag or something?
Yeah.
That pissed me off so bad, man. And even when the Rare Amiibo came out, Nintendo World Store had some, but shit, the stores around here, no chance in hell of getting them.
And
Perfect. Just looked at, and yes, Europe does have an online store.
I mean, look, I realize that it is. I realize that it's unrealistic. I realize that it's unrealistic to have a Nintendo World Store everywhere. I get it, but you know what? You know what else is unrealistic? That people who want to give you their money, you're making it harder for them to do that.
I feel like
here's what I'm saying. Go ahead.
I'm about to say, I feel like we used to call it all the time Nintendo World Store, Nintendo World Store, Nintendo World Store, but now they rebranded it. Now it's Nintendo NY. So I'm
Nintendo
kind of
New
curious.
Yeah.
I feel like they are going to like expand, but only in like other major cities like Washington D.C., Atlanta, Miami,
No. I mean, here's what I
San
think they'll do.
Francisco, etc.
Here's what I think they'll do. I think they'll branch out, but it'll be Nintendo World Stores connected to Universal Studios. So like you'll have Nintendo World Store in Universal Studios California, Universal Studios Orlando.
I honestly think that my personal opinion, when they did their rebranding, I think they're going to make one for sure, probably in California, in some city in California. I know they're going to probably make one somewhere in Florida, probably next to Universal Studios.
What's the problem? Yeah.
That's in Orlando.
But I think they're going to do at least those two states. I hope they bring at least one to the South. I hope at least one.
Yeah,
But
closest would be Atlanta. I can see them putting one in Atlanta.
Yo,
no,
dog.
hell no, not Atlanta, man. No.
Let me put it this way. DC would see a Nintendo World Store before Atlanta. Okay. Not Atlanta. Hell no.
That's, I mean,
Dude,
Hey, I'm just saying, I'm in North Carolina. Put one in Charlotte. That's all.
I was about to say the doc to trigger you even more. Not only that I got the Legends of Breath of the Wild Masters Edition, but it's the one that has Asia Anuma's signature in the box.
Oh, dang!
Gilligan, you can kiss my ass
My black.
before I wipe
my black ass.
okay?
I mean, like, I think all of us have some type of awesomely rare thing. For example, I have the Metroid Prime Trilogy physical for the Wii. That's like really, really fucking expensive.
The steelbook, the steelbook cover.
The steelbook cover, yeah, I got that.
Oh,
Let me see. NES Classic. Gold Mario Amiibo, never been opened. A poster
Man,
of Charles
the hell
Martinet's
is that
signature. Too many things to say.
I literally got the gold Wiimote, the gold classic controller that came with the special edition of GoldenEye, and the golden nunchuck from Club Nintendo. So I got the Triforce of controllers for the Wii.
Look, man, I need you to stop making me pissed off.
That's not, of course, that's not even
I'm
counting like
pissing
the
off as
stuff,
well.
the old retro games I had that's completely botched.
I mean, my,
Actually,
you know what? I mean, I agree with Red Fox. Business wise, it wouldn't make sense for them to put those stores everywhere like a GameStop. But to me, and this is not really out of the realm of possibility. I don't think it's really hard to maintain. But Nintendo, I think at least a good 10 good states could use your stores.
Yeah, that's what I say. Just put them in like these big metropolitan areas across the country.
Like to me, you got the DC area. Of course, you got one in New York already. I can see Atlanta. I can see Florida and the Miami area, or Hollywood. I see, California would be LA or San Diego, San Francisco. I can see that. I can see even other cities. I don't know about Chicago, but I can
Please,
see,
not Chicago.
no offense to anyone that's from Chicago, but
But
you know
you got
it's
something against Chicago?
Man, the homicide rate though.
Man, homeless are fucking everywhere. Don't get
I
started.
didn't say homeless. I said homicide.
not to get political, but I don't think you want to walk down the street with anything Nintendo in the city of Chicago. I don't think you're gonna bring you ain't gonna make it home. It's possible. Can you imagine going there and buying a Switch? Yeah, you're gonna catch a Switch. I'm sorry.
I can see. Aside from the one in New York, I can see.
Like I said, I could see DC. I could see Orlando, Florida, because of
Charlotte, maybe.
No. It's gonna be a big tourist destination. No one is going out of their way to Charlotte unless they're going for basketball or some shit like that. Orlando, Florida, because of the Universal Studios. DC because nation's capital. New York for people there. On the East Coast, definitely, if they're going to do something, it's going to be. You finished, Gilligan? Is it good?
Oh God.
But
I'm
anyway,
taking
yeah,
pills.
I'm thinking maybe California, maybe LA, or Hollywood, because because of Universal Studios there. I mean,
Redmond, Washington
maybe
is
maybe they'll
obvious.
open one down the street from their Redmond, Washington offices, just for the sake of having it, and that'll be your East Coast, West Coast. For you, Dr. Feelgood, they might open one in Southern California, and that'll be the closest for you if you live in Texas. That'll be a long drive.
Yeah, but I hope they do plan on expanding, man. I think it'll be great. And as far as the online store, we do need one of those. I would like to go to the Nintendo website, whether it be Nintendo World Store or just the Nintendo website in general, and be able to buy something instead of them telling me which retailer I can get it from. I
Well,
don't
I mean,
think
not
what's so
just
hard about
that, but I mean, you can buy stuff from their website, but it's always like replacement parts or some shit like that.
Yeah, that
Yep.
we knew.
Now I want to go in there and be like, okay, I want the Breath of the Wild Master Edition. I want to buy it strictly directly from you guys, and you ship it to me. I want that.
Oh, I feel like that'd be nice. Either that, and going to what Doc is saying, because
Mass produced.
they're making manufacturing switches, manufacturing 3DSs. Still, like, if they say that they want to for the SNES Classic, they don't want another like NES Classic issue where it was just like one shipment, that was it. Like, couldn't they at least like make one big shipment like every month or every other month?
Well, this is
Or is that too ambitious to have 3 different things being manufactured at once?
personally, well, shit, they're making 3DSs. They could totally make these. Because I mean, really, let's keep it real. This is basically just a Raspberry Pi. Like maybe a little bit weaker than a Raspberry Pi with 30 games on it. This isn't like
21.
Yeah, with 21 games on it. This isn't like it's all that,
Not every single licensed SNES game. Well, that would be impossible anyway because of licensing issues.
I'm just saying this isn't like it's all that hard to make. I think the most expensive thing are those SNES controllers.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, which can also fit into the Wii remote.
Yep.
Huh.
But that's about it.
Actually, is there any other topic you guys wanted to bring up, or I could actually finally talk about the 2 topics that I wanted to talk about? That's something I really wanted to get out there with.
This is just a little nitpick of mine, but Nintendo. God, I know y'all wanted to have the 2 Joy-Cons where it can, it's basically 2 controllers in one system. But wouldn't it be so nice if they the left Joy-Con with like a regular D-pad?
Stop bitching. Oh my gosh. Okay, because here's the issue run in with that. The issue you run into with that. When you want to share the joy, somebody won't have a normal 4 face button layout.
I ain't gonna share the joy not around here. It's PlayStation Land. It's PlayStation Land here in college.
No, but you're forgetting. Nintendo made it a big deal to promote that this system technically comes with 2 controllers. They can be combined as one, or they can be used separately for a local co-op. With that said, giving someone basically stick it a D-pad,
just sell it as an accessory.
But even still, then you have people bitching like, oh, well, I gotta buy that. Why can't I just choose? Why don't you make a bundle that has that instead?
There you go. Yep.
At the end of the day, it works the same. All the people that are bitching about this, if you ever owned a PlayStation in your life, shut the hell up because it had the same damn layout.
Yeah, that D-pad sucks on that. D-pad sucks on that too.
It may suck, but guess what? It's been sucking for 20 years and ain't nobody bitching about it.
Yep. I mean, look. I'm sorry. If you want a D-pad, your ass is just gonna have to go and spring $60 or $50 if you can find one. Because I see some places that are selling them for cheaper. and
Pro
get
controller?
yourself the Pro Controller.
I already bought my Pro Controller the day I got the Switch.
Then you're good. Then what are you complaining for then?
the handheld mode.
Well, you're gonna have to use your Pro Controller with the handheld mode. I mean, I've done it.
Yeah, get over it, man. You'll be okay.
You just gonna
Yeah,
have
that's
to.
why. That's pretty much the reason why the Pro Controller was made for, basically. But
Yeah.
even though I'm gonna be honest, it's not really that bad actually. I use the
I-
D-pad. I use the D-pad buttons on the Pokken Tournament. It's not that bad.
I'm guilty of this. I know it comes with the Joy-Con grip, but I keep my Joy-Cons charged on the Switch the whole time. I just use the Pro Controller when I'm at the house.
So yeah, because I don't use the handheld. Like I very rarely use the handheld mode. And when I do, it's not really handheld. It's tabletop mode. Like I don't because like I'm like, look, I spent a lot of money on this. There's no way on God's green earth I'm just gonna like have it, where someone could snatch my shit and then my console's gone.
Yeah, rarely do I use the grip.
I would say this. I've actually used my grip as much as I use my Pro Controller because I've killed my Pro Controller so many times.
Whoa.
Oh, really?
It's not because it's broken and messed up. It's because I really haven't been gaming that much on the Switch. Like between my wife and I, honestly, there's been times where I'll be on a Pro Controller like 20, 30 hours and she'll get on it and then it will say low battery. I put it up so it can charge and we use the Joy-Cons for about 2 or 3 hours, but I got on the grip. But seriously, my Pro Controller, it probably dies once every week or two.
I've never had one. But then again, I keep my Pro Controller. I keep my Pro Controller charged, and whenever I want to play my game, I just press the. I keep it plugged in. I just start it like that. I press the.
Although I prefer the Pro Controller and its ergonomics, I do prefer it. I will say this: I don't want to get too acclimated to the Pro Controller to where playing with the Joy-Cons and the grip feels alien. So I actually like both. So when you play the Pro Controller consistently, when you have to go back to the Joy-Cons and the grip, you feel like, I'll just wait until this thing
really.
I just wish the grips on the Joy-Con grip was like a little longer, kind of like how the Pro Controller is. But that's
I don't know. To me, I feel the Joy-Con controller just feels like a smaller version of the Pro Controller. With the grip, it just feels like a smaller version of the Pro Controller.
No, you're right. It is, but there is a difference. One, as I've heard some people say, the range of motion with the analog sticks is about half that of the Pro Controller. And two, the buttons are smaller on the Joy-Cons. The buttons are smaller. The third thing is that the right analog stick placement, with it being completely vertical and below instead of being slightly off to the left side, it feels different. Like so, reaching for the right analog stick is slightly a little weird. So I make sure that doesn't feel too weird to me because I love my Pro Controller, man. But I try to still, retain how it feels natural to me with using the Joy-Con, the grip, and I love it. And I have the charging grip.
We got an ambidextrous here.
You said you had 2 topics, Gil.
Yeah, I do actually. And it's something that I would say that about.
Well, choose the one you want to vent about, and we'll save them for next time because we're close to about 2 hours, and I know people may have some stuff to do. So just choose the one that's most important to you.
Okay, I guess the most important thing I will bring up is the whole it's the whole fan game debacle, right? So as of late, Sonic Mania came out, and it's a phenomenal game, right? But
cool.
the one thing that many people are saying that they basically harp on Nintendo for basically taking down these fan games, like another Metroid True remake and the Pokemon fan games, and pretty much any other Nintendo fan game.
Oh my gosh! I see what you're doing with this.
So basically, they're praising Sega for Sonic Mania, but basically shitting on Nintendo for the Nintendo fan game takedowns.
I saw this
here's
the
what-
moment Sonic Mania was announced.
That's hilarious because never mind. Go ahead, Gil. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I want to finish this. So they wanted Nintendo to do the same thing with these like another Metro 2 remake,
AM2R was the big one.
AM2R, yeah, AM2R, and even though, yeah, which I can understand because Metroid Samus Returns hasn't been announced yet, but I'll definitely get to that later.
I have something fun to talk about.
But yeah, they want Nintendo to do the same. Just this whole concept of the whole notion that Nintendo should do the same as everyone else. But here's the thing. I have a feeling that a lot of these people think that all Christian Whitehead did was made fan games. And Sega just look at them and say, hey, these games look good. You want to work with us? It didn't go that way. That's not how it went. I have researched. I think I saw like a video from Beta 64 about it, or I think some other video. And here's how it truly happened. And this is something that people should actually know about.
Research.
So, I believe almost 10 years ago, or just about 10 years ago, Christian Whitehead had pitched his fan game projects to Sega because he actually wanted to, work with Sega. Sega approved. Yeah. Wait. What you said, Triple M?
Yeah, I remember that Chris Whitehead actually did pitch one of his fan games. Although that was the only extent that I know about because I didn't know if it got approved or not.
They approved. Actually, they approved. I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that very soon. So they made him work. They made him work for Sega, right? So they made him do the enhanced ports of Sonic CD, Sonic 1, and Sonic 2.
For mobile.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah, that's what they hired him for.
On smartphones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, I believe it was like possibly 2 years ago or last year, he decided to to pitch an idea of one of his fan games called Sonic Discovery. If he wants to become an actual thing, not only they improved, but they tell him just change the name to Sonic Mania and we're good, and added all the updates and all that stuff. That's all they did. See, the difference between Christian Whitehead and these Nintendo fan games is that Christian Whitehead actually made the effort to pitch his ideas and his fan games to a company.
The legal way. He did it legally.
Exactly. He did it pretty much legally, and what you should possibly do if you want to work for that company. Pitch your ideas and your projects to that said company to see if they'll be able to approve you as a game designer or game developer. What did these Nintendo fan developers did? Just made these games and put it out there for PC.
Well,
yeah.
Well, and here's what I was about to say. Something that people seem to forget is that at the end of the day, these games, like this game is basically a fan game. People who really didn't have anything to do with it. I mean, do you know how fucking embarrassing that is? A fan made a better Sonic game than Sega.
I was about to say, when Mario stops being good, then they'll hire fan makers.
Yeah, when they can't make good high quality AAA games,
Or even AA. or even single A.
Okay, when Mario turns out to be utter and complete shit, then I'll be like, hey, you know what? They need to get their shit together.
Like we were saying about Sega.
I mean, okay, we haven't had a good 2D Sonic game in years. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying here? Okay, it has not been good for years.
Not
That's not good.
3 years. Not to be confused with 2 decades. Yeah, like everyone else is saying.
Well, you know how it goes, folks. That's our community, and honestly, you can't change it. My thing is, let them think what they want to think and say what they want to say. At the end of it all, they can get mad at Nintendo for taking something down or not. It's perfect within their right to do so. It's like, hey, if you want to take a shit in your toilet, that's your right to do it. I don't have to like it, but that's your right.
Yep.
That's
Betrayal!
I can't get mad at you. I can't get mad at you for doing that. I mean, now if you take a shit in my living room, we gonna have an issue. But
Yeah.
if something belongs to you, like for example, I can't get mad at you that if someone steals your car, you call the police and your police recover your car. Me as the thief can't get mad at you for taking your car back. It belongs to you in
Yeah,
the
they
first damn
can.
place.
They can get mad, but legally they have no recourse to say shit about it.
I mean, but yeah, but you see what I'm saying? Like people are getting mad
Yeah.
because Nintendo would take down a game and it was a good game and
Or
whatever.
you know what that's like? That's like me going up to you saying, how dare you for your breakfast meat, you make turkey bacon. You need to use pork bacon, motherfucker. And, like, I mean, it's your business. You bought the food and eat it any way damn way you please, you know? I mean, I can't get mad at you because of how you want to do your shit that you spent money on, you know? And that's what people don't understand. They're like, well, they need to do this. And not to mention that this guy was using their assets. It's not like he
Yep.
made the shit from scratch himself.
No, not at all. And so that's why to me, like, let them. No reason to get mad at them. Let them be mad because at the end of the day, these people trying to get mad and give Nintendo shit, they're broke as fuck YouTubers, in my opinion. I mean, their opinion doesn't mean shit. You don't work in the industry. You don't own any stock. You don't make any game. You don't develop shit. You don't even build computers. All you do is talk
From
shit to get
scratch.
views. Why should I care about your opinion? How you feel? Oh, that's right. I don't. I don't. So yeah.
I would say you can have an opinion, but if it's stupid, I'm still going to call you out on it.
That's the beauty of self-created
Actually,
content.
that
You
reminds
don't
me.
have to watch it.
I do want to bring up the other thing I was gonna bring up. I'm not gonna go into much detail about it. It's the whole Super Nintendo Classic debacle and how they're all
Well, that's a
saying
whole
it's
podcast
Nintendo's.
right there.
Yeah, they're saying that it's all Nintendo's fault.
Oh
All
my
that stuff.
gosh.
Even though that it's more than likely the retailers and all that stuff, the people using bots and
Everyone's
all
doing.
that jazz. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, it does.
Also,
It just.
what
Oh,
was
go ahead. Sorry,
What was I gonna say? It's about the fan games. What was it?
Doctor.
What was I
I
gonna
was
say?
gonna say at the end of the day, man, people they can have their opinion as to whose fault it is, but guess what? No one knows for sure. People think Nintendo is shorting the Switch's stock on purpose. No one knows
Oh
for
my
sure.
gosh.
So at the end of the day, ask yourself this:
Visual Skill?
does it really matter what's happening in the background? Because if you have no direct hand in it or you have no control over it, why does it even matter?
Because
If
Yeah,
they want to
exactly.
know. They want to.
if Nintendo didn't make enough stock, if the retailers are shorting the stock, if Nintendo is shorting the stock, whatever it is, do you have any fucking control over it? Does knowing what it is help you do anything? It doesn't. It doesn't do anything. It has no effect. You can know what's going on. You still can't get one.
You know,
I mean, so at the end of the
Yeah.
day, doesn't benefit you. So, wow, you think it's Nintendo's fault because there's not enough of them. Okay, well, how about you get a product? You have 10, 20, 30 million people that want it, and it's only you that's making it. Let's see how well you do.
You know what?
Ah,
You know what? There's a difference. There's a difference between giving out actual information, gossiping, putting your opinion on it, and turns out that what you're saying is bullocks.
Well, that's what's been going on. Like here's the thing. I understand. Okay, people want this. Okay, people who really love the Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo got them into gaming. But you know what? Tough titties, motherfucker. There's tons of shit that we all wanted. There's from when we were little kids that we don't have anymore. Or we weren't
Tickle me elbow.
and we just deal with it. Okay.
yeah.
Teddy Ruxpin, yeah, things that were sold out quickly. And guess what? I didn't get one of those things.
And most of us still ain't got them. Okay, and that's okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, that's why it's. I mean, and here's the thing, y'all. Okay, if you absolutely 100% want an SNES Mini, you know what you need to do? Go get yourself a Raspberry Pi. Learn how to program the shit. Get a friend who has a 3D printer. Print yourself out one, and you can put as many fucking games as you want to on the shit. Boom. There you go.
You know what? I have a question I'm going to ask, and then we'll end it. Check this out. Did anyone, were the PlayStation fans bitching because Sony didn't make enough of the Tomb Raider 20-year edition PlayStation games? Did any PlayStation fans bitch about not having enough of the White Destiny bundles, the White Destiny system? What about the classic? What about the classic PlayStation skin they had? Did anyone say that? Oh man, Sony fucked up. It's their fault they didn't make enough of these. Did anyone bitch about that? What about that? What about in the back in the day when they had that see-through Xbox, the original one?
Okay, that one I don't know.
I didn't know.
I didn't hear anything.
I mean, but people bitch about this. I didn't hear any bitching. I didn't hear anyone saying this is Sony's fault. They didn't make enough.
Sony.
But somehow, some way, because Nintendo has something you want and you couldn't get your hands on one, it's their fault.
Those bastards.
I didn't hear anything. With people bitching like, oh man, I couldn't get my hands on that classic PS4 they released.
Yo, that's good. I hate the argument there was like a little argument I had earlier today that I've seen these people are saying that the Nintendo has lost all credibility because of that. And even someone that argued too.
Tell it to the stockholders.
You know what?
I'm pretty sure the ones that have stock in the company, they don't care about the credibility. All they know is making money.
One of them even saying that they're actually selling well because they short their stocks on purpose. They do stock shortages on purpose.
I guess they short the Wii stock too. And I guess they short the Wii stock too, and it's still sold over 100 million, and the other two are just now catching up if they have.
I bet they couldn't have said that with the Wii U.
Well, if that's the case, did they short their stock on Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild? Because I heard in America it sold more copies of the game than it is systems. Did they short that?
Yeah,
that would make sense.
I really do find this ironic. The people that's complaining to the company that they want from is the same company that most people trash.
Hey,
isn't that ironic?
That's been hand in hand for the last 2 decades at least, man. Ever since Sony came into the picture, people just basically have been like, the hell with Nintendo. The other guys where you want to be. You want to be on their side. My thing is, look, man, I'm not a console fanboy. I don't give a shit who has the games. I don't give a shit who has the memorabilia. Because I can tell you right now, I want an SNES, classic, just like I want an NES classic. And I get one when the time comes. I'm not going to go out my way. I'm not going to stand in a line for 4 hours.
I'm damn sure not paying, 200% over what it's worth on eBay.
Exactly. And my thing is, a lot of those games I already have on Virtual Console in some way, shape, or fashion. So collector's purposes. But
You know that's you, but me, I am the perfect customer, and look at me. I am not mad about it.
well, that's because you're not some type of self entitled self proclaimed Nintendo fan slash gamer that you want to claim that you are a Nintendo fan, but you play on everything else but Nintendo because basically Nintendo didn't grow up with you.
Yeah.
But we
Well,
won't drag this
anyway,
out.
if we can backpedal real quick to the fan thingies, I got two things. One, whenever there's a fan Nintendo game and it becomes popular, mainstream media outlets don't talk about it. If you're going to blow it up, that makes it even more noticeable all over. Like, I've never understood that. Like, at all. Like, as soon as AM2R came out, and there was, like, a little bit of people talking about it, I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's nice. But then once, like, IGN's like, look at this fan game, or GameSpot's like, the best Metroid game in years.
Even Nintendo Life, and then
Like,
everything.
like, I don't, that just seems silly. That's like someone coming out and go, hey, look, I counterfeited this $100 bill. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Like, I don't
What are
get
you
that.
gonna do? Report me? Throw me in jail? Really, bro?
Yeah, and then the
Really?
second one is to all the people in the comment sections of, what is it? Is it Samus Returns or is it Return of Samus?
Samus
Samus Returns.
Samus Returns. Don't say the game looks like trash because you played AM2R, and don't say you're going to boycott the game because AM2R is the true Metroid experience, because that doesn't say that you want Metroid to survive. That does, like, oh, it's so stupid.
You're being the one. You're basically
boycott-
becoming
yeah.
the reason.
That Metroid
That
doesn't
you're-
sell.
Hey,
Yeah.
you mean the same people that said they were going to boycott Splatoon and still bought it day one,
You know,
and they traded in 4 games to get it to keep money out of Nintendo's pockets?
And the shit still counted as a purchase because they're stupid.
Yeah, so
There's a person in this community that literally traded in a whole bunch of games for this title, and they're like, I don't want it to count as a purchase. Like, you do realize that this
his
still is a
name
purchase.
and his name starts with an A, it ends with a sin.
but I will say this, man. Look, they're gonna be mad. Let them be mad because these same people pitching the bitch, most of the time, trust me, it's for publicity's sake. Just like the same people that back in the 8th gen that would say, "Oh yeah, I'm selling my Wii U because it's trash. Ain't got no games, or Nintendo's too slow." Why would you announce that to the world if you don't want the system? Just sell it. 'Cause I can tell you right now, if I sell my PS4, you fuckers won't even know about it. You won't know about it. And I talk to you guys daily. You won't know about it. If I decide to sell it, that's just my personal business. I don't feel the need to let everyone on YouTube know. And then they won't even. They didn't truly sell it.
What? Like, I mean, I understand. Look, listen. This is an expensive hobby. If your ass can't afford it, don't get in the first place.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, but gaming is an expensive hobby. This is not, okay. Gaming is not like visiting a public library or learning to read or, access to water. Those are things that you kind of need that are necessary. Playing a fucking video game is not necessary. You don't need it, okay?
Yeah, so my thing is, dude, let them do what they want. I honestly don't care. That's why I don't respond to negative comments or negativity whatsoever. I just block and move on. I just could care less. I really could. Think what you want. Nothing you say or do is going to turn me away from a good game and or a good console. Metroid game. Just like I'm going to buy Mario Rabbids next week. I'm going to buy it. You don't have to get it, but I'm going to buy it.
But it has a season pass.
Yeah, I read about that, and we'll probably talk about that in the next podcast.
Yeah, I'm like,
I don't know why people are surprised. This is technically a Ubisoft published game.
Yeah, and Ubisoft is desperate for money.
They made it. They're basically they're publishing it. and they're head of marketing in it. So of course it's in pass.
And they're desperate for money. I mean, but instead of doing a $20 season pass, I'm like, you guys are desperate for money. Get a hot chick and have her. Never mind. There's other ways to make money.
Actually,
$20 is probably their cheapest season pass you can get nowadays.
Actually, guys,
most of it's 50 to 60 now.
About Mario plus Rabbids. You remember I talked about how Christian how they want Nintendo to do the same thing with like what Sega did with Sonic Mania, with the AM2R. I think they technically did. I think they technically did that already, because the developer who is making Mario plus Rabbids is actually a newcomer. Even though he works for Ubisoft, David Soliani, that's his name. He's a huge Nintendo fan.
Yes, he is.
He's a huge Nintendo fan. And the fact that, he's working on this game, he is very proud of it. So
yeah, I saw that. I saw the.
I read a couple of
crying about it. Yeah,
interviews.
I read about the interview and everything. It was great. Like you can
Don't
tell
cry,
he put a lot of,
man.
you can tell he put a lot of passion and work into this project. You can tell. This don't seem like typical Ubisoft fare as of late.
And I think that kind of
you know what I'm saying?
work, like the whole development process behind Rabbids and like the passion he brought. I think I don't know. This is just conjecture because we honestly don't fucking know. We don't work there. I'm not behind the scenes. But that's probably why they changed their E3 so drastically. Instead of like have a paid spokesperson who has a name people know, they actually put out their developers who actually semi to fully cared about the games they were making and actually could talk about them. Which is why people were surprised that Ubisoft conference was like bearable compared to last year.
It was actually pretty good. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, and I think Rabbids and stuff just working just that developer's passion kind of spread that out through much larger means. So
and the fact that Mario plus Rabbids actually feels more like a Rare game than a Ubisoft game.
No.
Oh boy.
Okay, we're going to keep it right there.
No.
And we'll finish this fight out there. Go ahead and give your side off, man.
All right. You might as well go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, this is Gear Against Dash, and all I'm gonna say is, and take my advice. If you wanted to debate with the detractors, that's fine. But if it becomes too much, I think it's best for you to just leave and just let them be. Let them talk shit, because it's not even worth it. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt you, and it may potentially hurt them in the long run. So
yeah, it's a waste of time.
Let it be. Yeah. Let it be.
And Perry?
Well, this Perry fan. Sorry I was late. I was watching a movie and I couldn't really find the link. I didn't even know there was a whole tab for Hangouts on Google+. Oh, this site's hard to navigate. Anyway.
What movie?
Oh, Emperor's New Groove.
That was a great movie.
Oh,
it was a good movie. 17 years old, actually. Came out 2000. But anyway, just random internet citizen. You can follow me on Twitter and Tumblr, is where I'm most active. PerryFan74. Nothing too much except, if you have a PS4 and Xbox One, you can now get a Hat in Time, which they released a release date at Gamescom for October 5th. So get those 3D platforming fingers ready for that, and Mario Odyssey in the same month. So.
Oh, actually, can I bring up one more thing? Later on tonight, I'm gonna be writing down my impressions of Metroid: Samus Returns. Which, yes, I did happen to play the demo of Metroid: Samus Returns at the Nintendo World Championship qualifiers.
Screw you, man. Screw you. Do not check this dude out. He's an overprivileged bastard. Red Fox.
Me, Red Fox, owner prior to BS Busters. I will be doing a wonderful podcast sometime in the near future, talking about games, this Sunday at 7 to 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. I also am doing a new show called the Sci-Fi Power Hour this Saturday at 7 to 8. Possibly will go longer. We're talking about Godzilla. If you want to join, let me know. I'll send you an invite. Peace.
That's Sprite.
All right, Sprite Remix. Good little podcast. I ain't got nothing coming up, but play more games.
Or else.
You will die.
I knew that was coming.
I told you
Go
to
ahead,
play
Triple.
more games, bitch. No, I'm joking.
All right. Well, this is Triple M. I apologize for coming this late. I was just having some technical difficulties on my end, and because I was late, I couldn't speak about my topic. But I will save it for Kenoshi's cast tomorrow night, because my topic deals more about the whole psychological situation that goes within this community. Well, at least the YouTube community, especially some certain fan base. Yes, and the fan base themselves are not. They're not gonna escape from my grasp either. But yes. Also, actually wanted to say something about this whole kerfuffle about the Xbox situation with Gamescom, and since he changed a few stuff with there, so that also
No,
is.
you can talk about it. You can talk about it on my cast Sunday. Why not?
Right now. Well, if I haven't talked about it at Kenoshi's, then I'll definitely talk on your cast. But yes, since this is Triple M. You've just witnessed the ALGL. Was it ALGL or was it AGOL?
OGAL.
Thank you.
You know the
Thank
name,
you.
man.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that old gal. Yeah, it again.
Shut your ass up. Anyway, this is Dr. Feelgood. I want to thank all the viewers and especially the panelists. I do have a new video I actually recorded about a day or so ago, but I hadn't put it up yet. It's going to be entitled somewhere along the lines of "I missed the gamepad." You probably know where we're going to go with that, but be on the lookout for that. I know as of late, my videos have been a little long-winded,
That's okay.
but
Pastor, I'm gonna start calling you Pastor Feelgood.
And Deacon Sprite Remix and other Triple M.
you know what? Hey,
Pastor got long-winded again.
hey, that may have to actually be a little segment we do, man. You know, call it, call it the Church of Gaming or whatever. How you want to?
Pass down the divine and.
He said, "Pastor Feel Good and Deacon Remix."
That's right. Deacon Sprite Remix.
I'm sorry.
Lead us in a prayer, brother Triple M.
Also, for the viewers, be sure to check out my videos. If you have an account, whatever, check them out on VidMe. I'm putting my content on there. I'm trying to get my followers up so I can get verified. Those that have an account know what the hell I'm talking about. But still not monetizing, don't plan to. But I enjoy VidMe more because, at least for right now, it doesn't have all the
Flagging.
volatile bullshit of YouTube right now. It's actually pretty damn nice. It really is. But check them out there if you can. And as I always say, keep it gaming.
Nintendo! Games gone!